All right, guys. Today we're going to be reacting to Andrew Wilson's heated debate with feminists. Let's jump in.
Abysmal. Like almost none in many of these cases. Like roughnecks, for instance, there's basically none. Line workers, for instance, on power lines, basically no females at all.
Yeah, the point that I'm trying to get across is that there's male-dominated fields. The more men there are, the higher rates of sexism a woman's more likely to experience, or just straight up sexual harassment. There is usually a direct correlation with those. Some of it could just be straight up interest. Maybe not as many women are interested in doing those jobs, essentially.
But I thought epigenetics was going to take care of that interest problem.
Well, what I was trying to describe before when it comes to, first of all, that's not how I was using epigenetics originally, but even if I was, here, my original argument for epigenetics was that we might see a slight difference in interest over time. But
that would be
regardless.
That's what I just said.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
Regardless of that, even if I did 100% grant whatever you're saying, you would see the biggest leap not in between, other manual jobs. You would see the biggest leap into, as what we were describing before, service-based jobs. Because service-based jobs are the ones, again, with the more prestige.
You see how much cop is this? This is so much cop that you think the evolutionary biology is going to take care of a lot of these problems. And then men will become women, women will become men. Then there's not going to be no difference. I mean, this is what happened when you live only in the internet and never had a job, never lift weights, never did anything. You get to a point when you're sitting down in a place like this, you're spewing incoherent thoughts.
The more value, the more societal respect. So that's why you wouldn't see intercrossing. You would just see people trying to move up instead.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If you have a barrier for entry inside of those service level jobs that you're talking about, meaning you and I both know that not everybody can be a doctor or a lawyer or in one of these high status fields, you should actually see the interconnecting. Why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? You say because there's a barrier to entry to be a construction worker, female. What barrier?
No. What I'm trying to describe here, if we're saying, okay, epigenetics, your genes, or whatever, your offspring's genes, even your genes can change depending on the environment.
Okay.
Even ever so slightly.
Okay.
Over time, our society starts valuing X quality. Just let's say they value X quality. Mm-hmm. People are going to start selecting for that quality more, right? Or your genes are going to respond to that quality more, essentially, men and women.
Got it.
Right? So if X quality is essentially intelligence, that's what more of society is going to start leaning and focusing more towards. They're not going to be focusing on the other manual labor job. They're going to be focusing more towards the intelligence-based job or whatever.
Got it. So both men and women want they're selecting for X quality. They want to move towards being doctors and lawyers. Got it.
Yes.
However, this still does not answer my question, which is this: why is it that women still, even if they're competing for these neutral jobs that they can do because it requires zero fucking physical strength, they sit in an office building all day, being a lawyer or doctor, whatever it is, why is it that you don't see them competing to be line workers? Why don't you see them working on power lines? Why don't you see them working on oil rigs? Those are extremely high-paying jobs, even for dumb women. Way higher-paying jobs than being a fucking coffee barista or somebody who works as a waitress. There's no more barrier for entry. Why aren't they crossing over? That would make no sense. Why wouldn't they do that?
There's a couple of reasons, like I listed before.
So
some of it can be based off of interest. Maybe not as many women are interested in doing those things.
Why not?
What is it? There are a million reasons. Maybe some of them do have a biological predisposition to not be interested in that.
A biological predisposition.
Some, right?
So something to do with their ontology?
Some other ones might be raised in a household where they're taught, hey, that's not a very ladylike thing to do. You should focus instead on taking care of children. Like that's more, that's the more ladylike thing to do. So their interest might develop more into that field.
She literally thinks that a lot of these behaviors are based on by society. You give birth to a kid, forget about your mom instinct. You're not supposed to feel like that. Feeling that mom instinct is wrong because that's society telling you should be doing it.
Basically. Rather than having it being a biological innate thing. So for some people it might be biologically innate. For some other people it might be just a result of society.
That's really weird. Is pornography a ladylike thing to do?
what is it? It's not necessarily ladylike,
go.
but it is highly rewarded.
Yeah, it's highly rewarded. So is being a person who works on an oil rig highly rewarded? Or hang on. Let me finish now. I just let you go through your whole spiel.
I'll let you finish. Go for it.
Just like working on a fishing boat, just like working at the world's deadliest catch. You don't see any women doing any of these or working as an ice trucker.
Yeah.
Here's why. Here's what's so interesting to your argument. Pornography is not ladylike in any way, shape, or form. So your argument of, wait a second, they're told that X thing is not ladylike. It seems that women will ignore this isn't ladylike if it leads to a lot of fucking money. If it leads to a bunch of money, suddenly it's not ladylike, we can put a big fucking X through it. So if we can put a big X through, doesn't seem very ladylike because we will compensate for that with money. Why the fuck wouldn't they go do that with other jobs? Is it because they can't?
No,
just say,
right,
Andrew,
no,
they can't.
Andrew, let me finish.
Okay,
I let you finish. Now it's my turn. So, I use the word ladylike, but the truth is, if a woman tries to go into the fucking oil rig, whatever field, yeah, a lot of guys are gonna straight up laugh at her, not even give her the opportunity to prove herself. Basically,
wow, that's not even close to truth. This is what happened, folks. These are people that basically have no idea what they're talking about, and they think that Twitter and Instagram and little debates like this are the real world. It's not even that close. Literally, guys are not even getting hang out with them because they might be just accused of a lot of things. And believe me, a lot of these jobs, they're looking for females because there's quotas. And they need to just complete the quotas. So the fact that she's saying that the reason they're not doing it is because the men are the problem here. Men are the problem. It's because of those misogynist men. They're not allowing females to have their own little space in a man world.
be like, hey, you're a fucking woman. And again, as we stated before, yeah, more male-dominated fields tend to be more discriminatory towards women. So even a woman who could do those things and is physically capable of doing those things will probably get fucking laughed. Hey, no, let me finish.
Let's test
Wait,
this.
let me finish, please. Will probably get laughed out of the
I've been interrupting
room.
you too much?
Yes. Okay.
Really?
I'm just being playful right now.
So hang on.
Wait, no.
I just want to test this real quick. Let's do one point at a time.
Well, you said 3 points. I just want to respond to those 3 points, and then you can respond to everything you want.
Go ahead.
Then in addition to that, yeah, women are very much rewarded also somewhat societally when they do pornography. Okay, that's straight up. You have a lot of guys being like, oh, like you're so hot, you're so sexy, oh my god, like you're the most beautiful
but
woman I've ever
ladylike,
seen.
right?
It's still positive reinforcement. Versus if you're a woman who works in an oil field, you somehow get in there, you're not laughed off, whatever. You make that bag, you make that money. You're still gonna be people being like, really? Like that's a field you chose? Well, pornography, you still have a shit ton of people in our modern society being like, wow, you're so hot.
Yeah, I can put this to the test though. Well, by the way, that's really weird because that would be the barrier entry of politics, all sorts of things which are male dominated. Women come in and instead they're glorified. The opposite happens. They're not repressed, they're fucking glorified. Here's an example of this. Have you heard of the first female Navy SEAL? Do you know her name?
No.
Okay, she doesn't exist. That's why you've never heard her name, because not a single woman, even though the Navy has done everything in its power to recruit women to be Navy SEALs.
And that's a
Treat
huge
them
mistake.
like fucking gold.
Huge mistake. Simpers, man. Simpers, bro. Simpy, man. We're downgrading the level of our own military just to, hey, we will do whatever you guys say. Putting the nation's the nation into a bad risk, like against a lot of these. Listen, probably the females can do certain job, like all over the phone, telling the guys what to do, transmitting the information, right? But not in the battlefield, man. Like this stuff is crazy. And then you see people like this. By the way, she said she's Puerto Rican, and she said that her first language was not English. Even though I can guarantee you, like 100%, she was not even raised in Puerto Rico. Well, but identity politics plays a role here, right? And she's white as hell. That's another one, because the father's white Mom is white, but father's Puerto Rican, so that makes her a Puerto Rican, I guess. It's like me. I'm 65% European. That makes me a European, I guess. Stupid, man. Let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.